Good evening, everyone. Let me discuss the theme of the poem, The Bengal Sellers. In my previous video, I have discussed with you the paraphrase of the poem. Now, let me discuss the theme, which is again an important question. It comes often in the exam. The examiner may ask you to discuss the theme of the poem, The Bengal Sellers. See, here we have two prominent themes discussed by the poetess. The first one is a womanhood. Undoubtedly, these Bengals play an important role in woman's life. Other one is a patriarchy. In woman's life, men play a very prominent role. Even her life keeps revolving around these men and has a dominant aspect in their lives. See, womanhood here. According to the poet, the life of an average Indian woman passes through three main stages: as a maiden, means unmarried girl; as a bride, means a newly married girl; and as a mother. Each of this stage is described by the color of bangles. Thus, the main theme of the poem is that the bangles are a part and parcel of woman's life in India. Each color or type of the bangles represents each stage in her life. Silver and blue or pink represent the stage of maidenhood. Yellow, the morning of wedding, and fiery red, passionate longings in the bride's heart, symbolize or symbolic of her bridal night, are representative of the girl's wedding. Gold and grey colors represent motherhood and matriarchy. When this question comes, you have to give these two paragraphs as it is only. Then come patriarchy. The poet has not directly referred to the role and dominant of the males. There's no direct, mentioning of males in the life of a woman, but indirectly her life depends on the males only. So here, males in a woman's life, but there are enough hints of patriarchal setup in the poem. A man as a father, husband, and sons plays an important role in every stage of her life. The last four lines have been criticized as a tacit approval of a patriarchal ideology by a woman poet. Example: whose hands have cherished, whose love has blessed, and cradled fair sons on her faithful breast, and serves her household in a fruitful pride, and worships the gods at her husband's side. By using fair sons, the poet has only upheld the gender discrimination, as she hasn't discussed about fair daughters. A middle-aged woman, after filling all her duties and taking care of fair sons, only get a place near her husband. So that arises actually, or has arisen, gender discrimination in Indian families. The last line too shows woman in subordination by her husband. Even if the idea is factual or ironic, it only goes to favor a setup in which women are mere objects to be placed in fixed boxes. Children, this theme is given to you in your workbook on page number 39. So you have to learn this theme from the workbook only. Now next topic is given here, title, and which often comes in the paper. See, every poem, every story has a title, and the title should go with the story. But in this poem, what happened? Only the first paragraph introduces us about the Bengal sellers. The rest of the stanzas or the paragraphs are just discussing about different colors of bangles. So this title is not appropriate, it is irrelevant. The title of the poem is The Bengal Sellers, and we expect to read about the life of Bengal sellers. However, the poem refers obliquely to their life in the first two lines. Only first two lines tell us about their life. Okay, and then we are told that a group of Bengal sellers is on their way to a temple fair. clear, to sell their wares. They cannot be as happy as they have been described in a life of poverty and deprivation. They can, of course, appear to be happy. Clear. Now, accepting these two lines, we are told nothing of the Bengal sellers. The narrator, one of the Bengal sellers may be a man or a woman, or we have no clue to the gender. Most probably the narrator is a woman. She only talks about the Bengals of various colors, and which colors are cherished by women in different stages of their growth. Thus, the title, the poem is about Bengals, each color of which represents each stage a woman crosses as a maiden, as a bride, and as a mother. Thus, the title of the poem is inapt, means inappropriate. It could have been Bengals or any other suitable title. Clear? Now, better come to the next main point here, little contemporary value. Despite the poem evocative powers, it is really impressing. It appeals to you, but it does not appeal to the modern reader. Okay, first, very few persons, at least in the urban areas, have ever seen the Bengal sellers. Undoubtedly, only the villagers, they must have seen the Bengal sellers, or actually in city they don't go, or we don't find them. Some very educated ladies have little or no charm left for old-fashioned Bengals. So, moreover, the poet presentation of Indian scene and ethos is orthodox, quite old, conventional, almost in line with the outdated patriarchal ideology. The woman is presented as tender, weak, helpless, and dependent. But it is not so. Man as father, husband, and son determines her life. The image of the proud mother rearing her fair sons, no mention of daughters, as I said earlier also, and her hard-earned place at the side of her husband at religious rituals is unacceptable in our times of feminist look. Children, you have to see this poem is quite opposed by many of the critics because it creates gender discrimination. I ask all the children to go through the poem from the workbook very well. You have to read the paraphrase, theme, title, everything, so that you should easily frame answers.